everyone and welcome. Today's video is about outcomes of Italian judicial auctions. It wasn't clickbait. I am going to get to the point of 60 euros turning into 426,000 euros and just stick around long enough and we'll get to that point. I'm truthfully geeking out right now, and why? Well, let me tell you about the last few weeks. Many of you know that I've been working on the BRRRR method here in Italy. I started it a few months ago before making a number of videos on €1 homes. If you want to catch up, just check out the playlist in the corner when the video is over. Well, life gets busy sometimes and not every plan goes according to plan. I started talking to appraisers and banks about our current portfolio, trying to pull equity out of them. Shortly after I started, I found a property that was perfect for repeating the process, and I've already done a few videos about it. Well, when it comes to an auction investment, sticking to deadlines is huge since there is a limited window for auction participation. As the weeks passed, my spirits weakened since it became more and more apparent every day that the auction day of this motivation property was going to come and go and I wouldn't be able to participate. Auction day was December 18th. I was confident someone would buy it at the current price since it's a giant of a villa. I expected that even if I participated, I would have slim chances of picking up the auction at my target price range. December 17th at 12 a.m., it became certain I wouldn't be participating, and all I could do was sit and wait at home as the auction was awarded to another. Tuesday, I had planned to create a video about my disappointment, but that I would be pressing forward with my objectives. When prepping that video, I felt lethargic and wanted to avoid it completely. I opted to create one more video about Sicily in its place. After posting that video, I decided to check out the updated status of Wednesday's auction. Typically, it isn't updated for a few days, but I decided to check anyway. Guys, the auction was deserted. That means that no one showed up. Reading this, I literally jumped out of my chair and felt that this was the reason I couldn't make Tuesday's video. Due to this shot of adrenaline, I thought it would be a great opportunity to explain what happens in the case the auction is deserted. First off, understand that if I had applied, the villa would have been mine for just shy of 200,000 euros for a property 5,672 square feet on a quarter-acre lot built in 2005-2006. I found properties in the same community ranging from 2,700 square feet to 3,444 square feet between the prices of 288 and 345,000 euros. There weren't any over 5,000 square feet for sale that I could compare to, but using comparative price per square foot estimates of 100 euros per square foot, the property would have been near 565,000 euros. This previous auction, it sat at 35% the market rate and still no one bought it. So why did no one buy it? It wasn't because they weren't aware. I witnessed multiple groups touring the property the same day I did. The world may never know why. I have a hypothesis. It's based on these three things. Number one is condition. Number two, culture. And number three, vision. First off, its condition was not move-in ready. You could see missing radiators and damaged paint in every room. Broken windows and fallen tiles were signs of vandalism as well. If that wasn't enough, the current interior design is quite eccentric, and to replace it entirely would be a costly ordeal. If someone was willing to keep the tile, I don't expect that the renovation budget would be more than 20,000 to 25,000 euros, but that leads us into number two. Culturally, from my experience, Italian people appreciate high quality. Most of the time, someone looking to spend this amount of money wants to know that the property is in good condition. Most of them probably viewed multiple villas and marked this one off as being high maintenance due to its size and need of attention. Lastly, I believe that most of it was based on vision or lack of. Living in a nearly 6,000 square foot home has its benefits, but it also comes with a price tag in the form of taxes and maintenance costs. When purchasing the property, you can't claim the first home prima casa tax benefit since it's considered a luxury property. Also, if it's your second property, you can't claim it as well. I know that doesn't sound like it falls under the category of vision, but what I mean is that I was potentially the only one considering dividing that space into multiple units, uncovering the hidden potential. I could create 3 dwellings which could be sold or rented in order to gain monthly cash flow, and shrinking their size removes their luxury status, making them more marketable to a larger number of people. When sold, they could be eligible for the first home tax benefit, which is a pretty significant amenity here in Italy. That's obviously my opinion. Take it as you will. So what happens next? now that no one bought it. It comes down to what the bank that holds the title decides. They could choose to hold it at the same price. They could choose to cancel this auction altogether. But most likely, it will descend another 25%, dropping its price tag to nearly 150,000 euros. The court will begin to follow their processes, and within 2 to 4 months, the property will resurface with a lower base price. I expect the auction to be in mid-June. I guess that gives me time to square things off with my current refinancing options. Most of me is bouncing off the walls with excitement, while a small part is disappointed I didn't pick it up for the current price. Why? Obviously 150,000 euros is better than 200,000 euros, right? True, for 3 units, 50,000 per unit is much better than 66,000 per unit. But remember, this is an auction. I've seen countless times where after it was deserted, dropping the price, it becomes attractive to more people. People start telling themselves they'd be crazy not to try for it. Let's say 10 people start bidding on the same property and a bid war starts that raises the price 60 to 75 grand, which in this case would be far beyond the previous auction price. It would have been better if the winner of the auction participated in the previous auction. Alright you guys, this is where those of you who hate looking at financials are welcome to check out and head to the next video on your suggested videos list. Before you do that, don't forget to like the video. It helps this channel reach more people in a shorter amount of time, and I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe. The channel has steady growth every day, but I can see that over 70% of those of you who watch this aren't a subscriber. I promise it will be worth it in the end. Okay, let's continue. What are my new estimates for this more than 5,000 square foot villa in northern Italy? Some of you might have seen my BRRRR calculator before. I've added a new column for dividing the property into 3 sections. What I know is that if the villa comes back in auction, it could be approximately 25% less than what it was on Tuesday. That puts my offer at 149,765 euros. The 9% registration tax puts me at 163,244. If I paid cash, that would be it. I intend to use a mortgage, which would be near 120,000, 80% of the bid price. With a mortgage, I'll need the assistance of a notary to affiliate the bank documents to the property. I estimate that that will add around 4,000 euros with bank fees included. Researching bank rates, can anyone guess what percentage I'll pay on 120,000 euros over a 30-year period? Write it in the comments and be honest with what you thought when you do, since I'll just go ahead and tell you. 1.06% for a payment of 388 euros and 67 cents. Do you see why I want to get a mortgage? 5,672 square foot of real estate in a great neighborhood. I didn't mention that previously, but really it is great. For the low cost of 60 euros of interest monthly over 30 years. You know when you calculate your home and it looks like you paid for 2 homes after 30 years? Yeah, well, I only have paid for a new car. Okay, moving on. To close on the deal, I'll need to invest 47,777 euros of my own cash, unless I choose to gain additional financing in the form of a consumer loan. Without it, I'll have leveraged just over 71% of the total purchase price. The point of this project is the value I see in its modification. What I'll need to determine is if the city will allow me to divide the space into 3 units. So pretty much everything hinges on that decision. Even buying it for myself and renting out my current house is a brainless endeavor at this price. Now, it isn't move-in ready, so I need to consider a renovation budget. If I put 10,000 euros into the property, I could move in happily. It would be a little empty without an extra sum for furniture, but it doesn't bother me to use my current furniture temporarily or even long term. Renting it at 1,400 per month, which is extremely low for its size, gives me a cash flow of 988 euros and a return on cash of 20.64%. That's not really the scenario I'm hoping for, since I would also like to improve our current standard of living. If the city approves the division of the space, I estimate about 30,000 euros will add dividing walls upstairs and down, in addition to dividing the electrical, plumbing, and HVAC systems from one another. That puts my cash investment over 77,000 euros with a total cost of 197,289 euros. Now that the property is 3 units, I can rent out 2 apartments on the rear end of the building for 740 euros each, based on market research, while living in the front half, having a pool, garage, and open space will attract more potential renters, though I haven't budgeted the cost of the pool as of yet. Living there takes away the cash flow potential, but allows me to rent out my current home for $650, which is more than fair for a townhome like mine. When all is said and done, buying this property will cost me $77,477 invested cash, which can be reused in later stages of the BRRRR method. At this point, you might notice some differences in the bottom section of this chart here, because I noticed that there was a problem in the annual expenses where I was calculating monthly expenses twice in these columns and monthly instead of annually in this column. And so anyway, there will be some adjustments here, but the point is that there's a current monthly cash flow of 1,067 euros, not dollars, per month, and return on cash 16.53%. All for the cost of 60 euros of interest each month. This video is a bit longer than I hoped, but I've been as concise as I can be. Some of you might have noticed the row with green font labeled equity, less cash invested. This is what it all boils down to. Giving the bank 60 euros per month pays me back in big ways. Imagine making one decision that adds 426,000 euros into your pocket. I'm talking cash generated just from making this deal a reality. Based on market research, properties like this are sold for 300, 155, and 155,000 euros each, respectively, due to their size and age. I don't know if I'll sell them tomorrow or in 10 years, but what I do know is that the next time I refinance, I just might turn it into cash and swim in it. That's it for this video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you're interested in doing this yourself here in Italy, please contact me. Every once in a while, I'll put helpful resources in the description, so make sure to check this video to make sure you didn't miss out on something. All right, see you later.